So great. Hi, this is Nick Williams, and I'm sitting here with Art Geyser. Hi, Art.
Hey, Nick. Very good. Very good. Glad to be here.
We've met a couple of times now, and you've very kindly offered to offer a few tips for the people that are on the programme that I've called The Message You Were Born to Share. And you're a messenger, you're out in the world helping change and transform people's lives, so you very kindly offered to answer a few questions. So I'm just going to ask you the questions. We're not going to get into a kind of conversation about it, but you know, for people that don't know you, what is the kind of message that you feel you're born to share? What is it you want people to know or understand?
I think it's a really simple two-part message. One is that I want people to discover how amazing they are. Right. I think that everybody is born with unbelievable gifts, and I want people to realize that. And they don't need to be the gifts they thought they needed to have. And the other is that I think life can be really, really fun, and that I want people to discover that they can really enjoy their lives, and they can do it through pursuing their goals in a way that's collaborative with other people.
Great, thank you. And when did you recognise or begin to acknowledge that you were a messenger? Is there a point in your life, or has it always been there?
Yeah, I feel like it's always been there, that I was very lucky. My father always took my opinions seriously. When I was little, I thought we had man-to-man talks, is the way I thought they were. And maybe that's why, but I always thought I was supposed to say what I thought. It didn't have to be right. I'm supposed to put my viewpoint out there.
Oh, great. And I presume you have your humanness like we all do. You have your fears and your doubts and your questionings. How do you deal with those? What are your strategies? I know your material is all about that stuff. How do you personally deal with the kind of human fears that most of us have around putting ourselves out in the world?
Well, I think by nature I'm really quite shy, and people are usually surprised to hear that. And to me, it's really simple. When I'm giving my message, it's not about me. And so somehow my shyness becomes irrelevant, and it isn't what people think or anything anymore. It's this feeling like we're supposed to speak our truth. And so the shyness kind of goes out of the picture.
So you make truth more important than shyness?
Truth and contribution. You know.
Right. Thank you very much. In terms of practical steps, you know, you've been going at this for 26 years now. In terms of practical steps, what have you done that's made the difference?
For me, the biggest difference is being willing to speak in public and let people discover what works and what doesn't work, and then people usually invite me to things. And so a lot more, the biggest things that have happened for me is if I put myself out in the world, then invitations happen.
Great, so you show up and you create connections by sharing that. Brilliant, thank you very much. And what would you say has most caused your success? Is it that, or is there anything else you've done that's really most caused your success?
Well, it's definitely that, and I think the other part was this wonderful woman named Hazel years ago, very wise, said, you know, you think you need some kind of charisma or something to do things in public, and she goes, Art, your charisma will come from what you have to offer. And that really impacted me, and the more I realized I didn't have to be a certain way in public that I thought I was supposed to be, the more I was just who I was, the more people liked it. And some friends of mine, the first time they saw me present, they looked at me, later they had big grins on their face, and they go, you were just the same in front of the room as you are in our living room. And that's what I would advise other people too, that just be yourself.
Yeah, I think authenticity has a great attractiveness to it.
Exactly.
So that's your message, is just be yourself.
Just be yourself, and not everybody will like it, and that's fine.
Everyone else's taste in it, so you can only be yourself.
Right, exactly.
And how much of this has felt like, you know, your plan and you've had to make it happen, and how much of it has felt like there are greater forces at work, or maybe even a divine plan in operation?
Well, at least du jour, what I believe is that our spirits are in collaboration with the divine and with each other. So, to me, it's all about following that plan. I think we kind of co-create it, and I do think it's a divine plan. So I think that's completely what our lives are about, including when we're stuck, including our failures. I think it's all part of somebody's spiritual path.
So everything can be used for our own awakening or our own clearing. Great, thank you. So you've been at this, as I said, for 26 years. So if you could talk to the you that you were 26 years ago, who was maybe just starting off on this journey, what would you say to him? You know, how would you mentor him now? How would you encourage him and cheer him on?
Well, the biggest thing would be to just kind of go for it and really speak his truth and his vision. I did medical research. I managed a research lab. I did a lot of corporate work for very, Fortune 50 kind of companies, including high tech and pharmaceutical. And there was always this fear that people were going to discover what I really believed and that I was a little weirder than I was supposed to be. And it's never been a problem. And so what I advise other people is just not to not think about their image, and at the same time, if they feel they have a message, give it, and just trust that the right people will be attracted to it.
So trust.
Yeah.
Trust in your truth.
And that's what I would told the younger me is just go for it, say your truth, and it will all work out.
Great. And if you had, 2, 3, 4 tips for people watching, if they're just starting out on their journey or they're already on their journey, any other tips you'd give them to cheer them on or help them shortcut things?
To me, one of the biggest tips is learning how to clear their energy. I think if people had an inkling of how much they're affected by other people's energy in their space, they would be appalled at how little control they have over their own lives. And it's nothing to be afraid of. It's actually very, very simple and fast to start clearing your energy. So my first tip would be for people to start clearing their own energy so they can find their own spirit within. And when they start integrating their spirit and their inner wisdom into their daily lives, decisions become easier because they will make fewer decisions. They'll just know more. And almost all top business people talk about that. I have a list of quotes, whether it's somebody that I don't think of as exactly, and it's a spiritual person, or it might be a Donald Trump or a Bill Gates or Stephen Jobs or an Oprah Winfrey. They all talk about follow your intuition. They all talk about intuition is more important than logic. So, and I think for all of us, it's really, once we clear our energy, other people's energy, then we can get in touch with our own truth and get amazing guidance.
Great. Thank you. Anything else? Any other tips?
Just to, just to really understand that no matter what it is you're offering to the world, there's 7 billion people on the planet, and for some people, whatever you're doing will be perfect for them. And you only need to get a small percentage of 7 billion to have a very successful business. So be yourself and let it be okay. It's like when you have mailing lists, I don't know about you, somebody unsubscribes, there's that little, and just letting that be okay and go, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
They
belong to somebody else's tribe.
Yeah. And I know, Alex Mendoza, he says, I want them to either turn up the volume or change channels. And I think that's really incredible advice. So go for the right audience, let them turn up the volume, and let everybody else change channels.
Show up, put the open sign up, and see who walks through the door and who walks by.
And really be comfortable with it. It's not for, if you're really doing your message, it won't be for everybody. And that's great.
It's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, Art.
A pleasure.
Lovely to have this conversation. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you some tips about how you can move forward in your career as a messenger. So thank you very much.
And I look forward to hearing your messages.